was handed over as the president of international students over there in China. So thank you very much for agreeing to do this with us, Master Caleb. You now have the floor. Our listeners will be pleased to have you demystify the concepts of applications in that regard. If you have slides, please be free to share your screen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Good evening from China. Good evening also from Nigeria, and good morning anywhere you are. It's such an honor to be part of the speakers for this webinar, and I really wish to appreciate Mr. Jude for the good work he's doing. Mr. Jude was both a senior in academics and in the student union as well. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. And I also see some of my great unionists, the president when I was in my final year, Jacob Dajo. I especially recognize you, and some other union, Austin is also here. Thank you so much. Angela did a great job, and I can say I applied for MasterCard. Unfortunately, I wasn't successful. And MasterCard is a very good scholarship, I must say that. So I'll quickly share my screen. Yeah, please, can you see my screen?
Yeah, sure, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I'll briefly be talking about scholarship here in China. And I just have two contents. I'll talk about studying in China and tips for emailing professors. Yeah, so a brief introduction about myself. I earned my bachelor's degree from, sorry, I'm still using University of Agriculture, Makurdi, my apologies. And I recently earned my master's degree from the University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. So before I start, I'll start with this quote by Dr. Eric Moore. He was one of the speakers during Liberty Career Academy Scholarship Summit earlier this year. And he said, no single solution fits all. Yes, that is very important if you're applying for scholarship. There are lots of advices here and there about CV, SOP. For the fact that it worked for someone does not necessarily mean it will work for you. And for the fact that it worked for someone can also mean it will work for you. Yes, so you just have to be very careful so that when you are getting maybe advice or CV, you try as much as possible to modify or improve or better the CV you are using. So it's very important you take this into consideration when applying for scholarship. So I'll be talking about the ANSO scholarship and the Chinese government scholarship. Yes, so for the ANSO scholarship here in China, it is affiliated to two universities. The first university is University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. This is actually my school. And the second university is University of Science and Technology of China. So these both universities, you get admitted to this university, either UCAS or USTC. Then you get to do your research. For masters, you have 3 years to conduct your research. Your first year, you do it in the university. Your first year is usually your coursework. Then the remaining 2 years, you need to go to your institute where you do your research. So these are just the two universities that are affiliated to the ANSO scholarship. Mind you, we still have the Chinese government scholarship. And for the Chinese government scholarship, it is affiliated to almost all the universities. And I'm going to talk about these two scholarships and how you stand a chance of getting or winning any of the scholarship. So there are many research institutes. Just like I said earlier, if you do your first year in Beijing at UCAS, your second and third year, you have to do them at your research institute. So there are many research institutes that are affiliated to UCAS. Yes, so one of those institutes is Kunming Institute of Botany. We also have Institute of Urban Environment. We also have South China Botanical Garden. We have Wuhan Institute of Virology, and we have Wuhan Botanical Garden. This is my institute. So For you to get a professor to apply for this scholarship, you need to visit one of these institutes and get a professor who is willing to mentor you or serve as your supervisor during your research period. And there are many research institutes, and this is the link to all the research institute affiliated to the University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. For USTC, I doubt if there's any institute affiliated to them. So basically, you do all your research at USTC. You don't need to go to any research institute like University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. So I'll talk more about how to get professors in my next slide. But know that there are many research institutes, and I'll make this slide available after my talk so that if you want to check all these institutes yourself, you can just visit their link and get into the website for the faculty. Yes, so the application, it's 4 in 1. Yes, the first application is the ANSO scholarship for young talents, and this is a scholarship I won. So when you are making your application, you'll be given 4 opportunities to apply for 4 different scholarships at the go. Yes, so one of the scholarship you apply for is the ANSO scholarship for young talent. The second scholarship you'll be applying for is UCAS full scholarship for international students. The third scholarship you'll be applying for is UCAS partial scholarship for international students. And here is the thing. The last scholarship is Chinese government scholarship. This is usually Chinese university programs. So here is the deal. The first 3 scholarships, you can apply for them at UCAS. Yes, so this is what people do. You have the opportunity of applying for these 4 scholarship at UCAS. But what people have started doing recently is to apply for the ANSO scholarship, the UCAS full scholarship, and the UCAS partial at UCAS, University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. Then the fourth scholarship, they will now look for a university here in China, get a professor still, then apply separately to the Chinese government scholarship. So when you are submitting your application and you are given the opportunity of selecting all the scholarship at the same time, if you have a professor at any university in China apart from UCAS, I would advise that you just select the first, the second, and the third, then you submit a separate application for the Chinese government scholarship. This simply means that you have the opportunity of winning the first 3 at UCAS, and you have another opportunity of winning the fourth one at a separate university. I believe I'm not too fast, and we'll have enough time to discuss at the end of my presentation. So please, you can just be noting your questions. So just like I said, when you are submitting your application, and you know you already have a professor in a different university apart from UCAS, I would advise that you just select this first 3 scholarship, then you apply for another scholarship in another university. But if you select all of them for UCAS, you are simply narrowing your chances. And scholarship these days are becoming very, very competitive. So I would advise that you throw your net wide and see how you can get this scholarship. So the scholarship timeline, normally it begins in November. Yeah, and the deadline is April. So if you are interested, Angela highlighted a whole lot of things that you need when you're applying for scholarship. I also highlight some of them here. So if you're interested in applying for the ANSO scholarship or the Chinese government scholarship, I would advise you to start reaching out to professors here in China as soon as possible. And next month is holiday, so most professors will be on holiday next month, and some of them will not be checking their email. So I would advise that if you can start sending your email this month, maybe you can maybe stop in August, then you stop in July, then you continue in August, because in the academic cycle, June, July, August are usually for conferences, for vacation, and for field work. So you hardly get professors during this period. But some people can still try. You never can tell. You can still be lucky. So this is the application timeline. The application begins in November down to April. Then May to June is review and evaluation. Then July, August is awardee list announced. Then in September, you resume at UCAS or USTC. So for those that applied last year, we are still in June, so they are still reviewing your application. But we are receiving news that maybe the result might be announced ending of this month or first week of next month. Our fingers are just crossed. So this is a timeline for this scholarship, and here is the link. But the number of awardees each year, they've been reviewing these numbers, and I think for master's degree, I think they have reviewed it downwards. So because scholarship these days is becoming very competitive, so you just have to be prepared with all your documents. Yeah, so for the ANSO scholarship and the Chinese government scholarship, these are the documents that you will need when you are applying for this scholarship. So the first thing you will need is your ID photo. Yeah, that's a good photo of yourself. You need to upload it on the website. Then you need your certificate of highest education. You need it notarized. So for students that don't have their certificate ready, you can use your statement of result. I used my statement of result when I applied. However, it must be notarized. Then your transcript of highest education, it must also be notarized. And for those that graduated from UniAgric, from the time of Professor Kimbi up to Professor Itodo, they've made it very easy to get the student copy of your transcript. So I advise that you get this transcript as soon as possible. And the fourth thing you will need is a study plan and research proposal. Yeah, study plan here can be your statement of purpose or your motivation letter, but it must be inclined to what you want to do. Then your research proposal should be what you'll be doing when you are given the scholarship. That is the research you'll be doing when you get to your institute. And the research proposal should not be too bogus. It can be very brief and concise. And if you are drafting your research proposal, I advise that you work hand in hand with your professor to know the type of research your professor is doing. Then you draft your research proposal in that regard. Then the fifth item here is reference. You need 5 references because you are going to be applying for both ANSO and Chinese government scholarship. So for the ANSO part of the application, I think you will need to upload 3 recommendation letters. And for the Chinese government scholarship part of the application, you still need to upload 2 recommendation letters. So it does not necessarily mean you need 5 recommenders. No. Since you'll be uploading the same recommendation letter, you can just have, I think, you can have just 3 recommenders. Yes, you get 2 recommenders to draft 2 separate recommendation letters for you. So you just need to change the title of the recommendation letter. While you are addressing one to UCAS and ANSO, you are addressing the second one to Chinese government scholarship. And the sixth item is professor acceptance letter. Mind you, I stated that it is not required. Now, let me explain what I meant. It is not required simply means that you can submit your application without a professor's acceptance letter. It is allowed. You can submit your application, but know that I don't think the application will get to the gate of the school before it is being discarded. You get. So the reason why I stated mandatory or not is the fact that without them you can actually submit your application. But I want to be sincere with you. If you don't have a professor acceptance letter, I don't know, it will take the grace of God for you to get the scholarship because scholarship now is becoming very competitive. I can tell you the set of students that graduated from China this year, we are 3 sets. from 2021, from 2020, 2021, and 2022. Reason being that COVID. So the COVID that came in 2020, 2019 stroke 2020 really scattered a whole lot of the calendar year of the Chinese universities. So three sets of students graduated this year. So just imagine most of them are applying for PhD and you back home, you are competing with them. So you can see how competitive the process has become. So it is advisable you get acceptance letter. And this acceptance letter will be given to you by your professor. And what they usually require you to do is to fill your part, then you scan it to them, they'll fill the remaining part, scan it to you, and upload, then you upload during your application. And I find it very disturbing for the fact that they will give you an acceptance letter, and I see some students filling it with their bare hands. In as much as you are good at writing, I would advise that once you get that acceptance letter, please take it to a cyber cafe and fill it electronically. Because the people you are dealing with people that English is not their first language. So in as much as you know how to write very well, and some people don't know how to write clearly, so it might be very discouraging for someone who does not understand English to pick your acceptance letter and they are saying something different. So I advise that when your professor sends you this acceptance letter, please take it to a cyber cafe, fill it electronically and neatly, void of mistake. Yes. Then the seventh thing you need is your passport homepage. Angela has spoken about this. These are just the basic things you need when you're applying for scholarship. Without some of these things, you can't apply for any scholarship. Then you need physical examination record for foreigner. All these things can be downloaded on the website. Yeah, the physical examination here, you take it to a recognized hospital where they'll record some of your medical reports. Then you upload it in your application. It is very mandatory. Then papers or articles published or to be published. It is not mandatory. Yes, it is not mandatory. You can submit your application without attaching any paper you've published. But China, yes, I can say China. If you don't have publication, be it first author or second author, they value first author here more than anything. If you don't have publication, it will be very difficult for you to win any scholarship in China. Yes, because what we do here in China basically is pure research. Just imagine doing a master's degree for 2 years, for 3 years. You are doing pure research. So they want someone that who has done research and who has published his or her research. Yes, so for people that have done undergraduate project, I advise that you get it dusted and get it published. I had to publish my undergraduate project as well before I got the scholarship. And you can look for any reliable journal, necessarily not a big journal per se, but be mindful of pediatric journal. For me, I published in a journal owned by Department of Agricultural Science. I've forgotten the name. JAES, something like that. Yeah, so you can look for a journal and get your work published. Then examples of art, this is not mandatory. Then other supporting documents, they are not mandatory, but they are very, very important. What are these supporting documents? Angela highlighted most of them. Your volunteering certificate. So if you volunteer for some activities, some organization usually give certificate of volunteering. That is very important. Leadership positions you've held. It is very, very important, or any other thing you feel is very important to your application, merge all the certificates or awards in one PDF, then you upload it. Yes, so it is very important you have supporting documents. This will really tell them that yes, this person is not only research inclined, but is also very social and open to other activities. And for us at UCAS, there's something we do every year. They award best international student. Each institute get to award best international student. And what they look out for in this award are some of the things you've done in accordance to your research. Yeah, your extracurricular activities. Have you participated in tournament organized by the institute? Have you gone out of your way to help people? Have you participated in summer school? Have you attended conferences? Yeah, so these are some of the things the institute will look out for when they are awarding best international student. And that is the same thing they'll look out for in your supporting documents. So you must have some of these documents to back your application. Conferences, it is very important you attend some of these conferences and get certificate for them. Some of them are free online, some are also free in Nigeria. So please do well to get documents that are in line with your application. Then Chinese language proficiency certificate not required, English language proficiency certificate not required but important. Yes, so for this language proficiency, for those of you that graduated from uni agri, you can get your English language proficiency later and get it uploaded. Yes, it is very important. And the way we are hearing the news now, they are likely to maybe change some of these things in this application cycle. So it is very important for you before you make your application, go over this requirement when the application opens in November. Then the last item is non-criminal record report or police character certificate. Yes, so what I would suggest is that I clearly know that getting a police character certificate is quite expensive now. So you can go to maybe a division, police division, and get a police report that is duly stamped and upload it during your application. Then when you are given the scholarship and you'll be going to apply for your visa, you can now go for the police character certificate. I think it costs around 40 to 50,000. I don't know of now. So that is what you should do to save cost. Yes, so when you are making your application in November, you can go to any police station and get a police report that is duly signed, stamped with date, and possibly it should be on their letter-headed paper. Yeah, then when you are giving your admission, you can apply for the real police character certificate. Yeah, so these are the documents you need when you're applying for both the ANSU scholarship or the Chinese government scholarship. You upload some of them, I think all of them, you upload them in the ANSU scholarship, then you upload some of them in the Chinese government scholarship. Yes. So the second item, I'm almost done. The second item is tips for emailing professors. So what are these tips you need to have at the back of your mind when you are emailing these professors? The first is to study the time zone. Yes, study the time zone in the country you are going to email the professor. And this is not only applicable um, to Chinese professors, it is applicable to professors all over the world. Ensure you study the time zone. When I was applying for this scholarship, I usually send my email at 2 a.m., which is 8 a.m. in China. So that simply means if you are sending your email at 2 a.m. and the professor is getting to the office at 7:30, trying to settle down at 8, then checking his or her email at 8:30 or 9, your email is likely to be the first email the professor will see. And that's why it is very important for you to study the time zone before sending out email. Don't just send email at any time of the day. No, study the time zone you are sending that email. The country the professor is, know the time zone, then schedule your email. So, okay, I'll talk more about that later. So for Gmail, I think you have the opportunity of scheduling your email. Yeah, but for Yahoo Mail, I don't know if you have that opportunity, but I know for Gmail, you can schedule your email. Then the second thing is don't email more than two professors at the same university simultaneously. Yes, for us at our institute, all the students and the professors, we eat from the same canteen, and these professors, they see each other every day, either at the gymnasium, either at the canteen, either at the walkway, either during any seminar, and they talk to each other. And most of them, their offices are just close to each other. So just imagine yourself sending email to two or three professors at the same university, and they get to meet each other in the canteen in the evening and discuss about you. So it will show how unserious and how vague you are. So it is very important that you send email to at least two. For me, I even did when I was looking for professors during my PhD, I sent to one professor per university. Yes. So for the fact that there are many research institutes under UCAS, that simply means go over all these research institutes, write down the professors who are in your research field, then write down their email accordingly. So that when you begin to send them code email, you can send code email to one professor per institute. Then you follow up after 4 days or 1 week. Yes, this is the best thing you have to do. So please don't send email to multiple professors in the same school or the same university. It is not advisable. Then the other thing is to use the available services. So when I was applying in 2021, I used Yahoo Mail. Yes, because there are no Google services here in China. Yeah, so if you use your Gmail to send a cold email to professors here in China, it is likely to just go to their spam box. They won't see your email. Yeah, but somehow a way of navigating it. But it's advisable that you create a Yahoo mail when sending cold email to professors here in China. I used Yahoo mail. There are some other people that use Gmail, but for me, I use Yahoo mail. So I advise that if you feel comfortable with Gmail, fine, but know that there are no Google services here in China. We can access Facebook, LinkedIn, all these things, all the social media, we can access them. So it is better you use Yahoo Mail. Then the fourth item is please keep it simple but rich. Yes, I said it earlier. You are dealing with people that English language is not their first language. So when you are sending them code email, please just keep it very brief, very brief. Just go straight to the point, catchy point, this, and you are done. Yes, it can also apply to professors outside China because these professors receive tons of email every day. So it is very important for you to, the first paragraph you just talk about introducing yourself, what you've done in undergraduate, what you are currently doing. Then the second paragraph, you should talk about maybe the work the professor is doing in his or her lab that interests you. You talk about how you intend to contribute to the work. Then your last paragraph should be concluding. You really appreciate if the professor can accept you. Then just like that. So just keep it very simple and very rich. Mind you, when you are sending this code email, you need to attach your CV and your transcript. It is very important you do that. Then the fifth item is word to mouth or networking. This is very important. Yeah, I want to believe that most of us on this call should have friends or relation who are studying abroad in universities that we want to attend. So it is very important for you to network with these people, ask them questions if any professor in their school or their department is recruiting new students. That was what worked for me in 2022. I reached out to a mentor on LinkedIn. Then it was just for to have a webinar like this for botany students. Yeah, so I reached out to him to speak to us in terms of application and scholarship abroad. So after the webinar, I got talking to him and he became interested in me and asked me if I already have the required documents. And then I already had my transcript, I already had my international passport and everything. So it was very easy for him to speak to some of his friends in my institute and he got their email. He sent me their email. I emailed the professors. The professors asked those his friends if they are familiar with me and they said yes. And that's how I got the acceptance letter and I applied to the scholarship. So it is very important you use some of these offers, some of these opportunities, word to mouth, network with people. If you go on LinkedIn right now and you search for Wuhan Botanical Garden, you see students who are currently in this institute. You can reach out to them, and if you are reaching out to them, I advise you don't go directly immediately. Try and create that relationship with them before you tell them this is what you want, and it will work perfectly fine. It has worked for a whole lot of people, and I'm very sure it will also work for you. Then the last item is request for WeChat conversation. This is specific to professors in China. Yeah, WeChat is just like our WhatsApp in Nigeria. And for us in China, we use WeChat more for every of our day-to-day activities. So when you are sending your code email to these professors in China, and mind you, some of them are very, very busy. Yes, they are very, very busy that most of them don't even check their email. And if you are lucky and they check your email, this is what I would advise you to do. Before sending, this is basically my own advice now. And you remember when I was starting my presentation, I read a quote by Dr. Eric Moore. So this applies to that quote. So if you are sending, before you start sending code emails to professors here in China, I would advise that if it's possible, please create a WeChat account so that in your email, you can tell the professor you are open to conversation either using Tencent or Zoom or WeChat. So you can now drop your WeChat ID or QR code. And the professor, if the professor is really interested in you, the professor can start up that conversation with you on WeChat. I knew of someone 2 years ago, two years or last year, the professor asked the person to create a WeChat account that he prefers communication on WeChat than email. You understand? So it is very important for you to have some of these things at the back of your mind. If you can create a WeChat account, it is good. If you can't create it, it is still good. But know that this is an advice coming from me, and I've been able to study the environment so well. And I want to tell you that this will definitely work for you if you try it. Yes, that is my last slide, and I'm open to question and answer. Once again, I want to appreciate Mr. Jude for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Um, Thank you very much, Master Caleb Akubu. Um, it was indeed a very interesting and powerful presentation. The opportunities are endless. Ask your question and direct it to whoever you want, the first or second presenter, or both, and they will be very willing to throw more light. Thank you. Michael Frank, are you with us? Hello, Michael Frank. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please proceed with your question.
Can you hear me now? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please,
Yeah.
I want to find out, are there language barriers in among these different institutes? Like in China, I speak English. I was trained in English in Nigeria here. So if I'm going for postgraduate scholarship in China, got a scholarship for postgraduate studies in China, for instance, would it be a language barrier? Do I need to learn their language before I can commence studies? I want to get more clarification on that. I must appreciate the nice presentation I've gotten from nice presentation by Miss Angela and Mr. Caleb. I sincerely appreciate you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us to enlighten us on the application process. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Caleb. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael, for your question. Yeah. So the language barrier issue is not a problem because
It's not.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can
I
hear
can hear
you.
you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was saying the language barrier issue is not a problem because your courses, everything will be in English. Yeah, but you need to learn Chinese for, I think, 4 months or 5 months. And the reason why you need to learn the Chinese is for you to be able to communicate with your lab mates or to go about your daily activities here in China. Yeah, but it is not compulsory that you must learn Chinese and your courses will be in Chinese. No, your courses are all going to be in English. Yeah, so, and if you come to China, is something our advice is that you try as much as possible to learn the Chinese language because it will be very beneficial for you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, I hope that answers your question. We have Ike Gabriel. His hand is up. If you can hear me, you can ask your question now.
Question is, if you take a look at the presenters, all of you are first class graduates. And for some of us who are not first class graduates, I think the class of degree will be a challenge. So I want to ask, so I will be clear. If maybe someone came out with a pass, of course, not a pass I came out with, but someone who has a lower grade, will it be a challenge getting admission?
Okay, if I can re-echo his question, he said most of us are first class graduates, and will it be okay for somebody who does not have first class or was not able to graduate a first class to be able to get a scholarship? I think his question is in line with um, the question of one of our own, um, Paul, who is in the chat also. He said, was if he wanted to know if the scholarship was only for first class and second class upper students. I must tell you, from experience, scholarships are for everybody. I know people who are here with us who had second class lower. They are here in Russia with us. There are many of them also who are in the US, in the UK. Just to reiterate, Caleb is in China, but Caleb did not get a first class from what you see in his chart. He said he didn't graduate a first class, but he was able to um, clinch a scholarship there in China. So class of degree is not a barrier at all. Just like how our first speaker said, um, you just need to show what you have to put in and what you have done outside your degree as well. I don't know if Angela has something to contribute at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Jude. Yes, I do have something to add. Um, Most definitely, you can get. I'll first of all attend and respond to the one to Gabriel's question. Yeah, you do have chances of getting a scholarship even if you didn't have a first class. But the thing is that you just so that you don't waste your resources and your time, just make sure to cross check this opportunity and see if they've specified, because some opportunities, some scholarships are some are more like more structured than the others, right? So if they've indicated that, oh, they have like that policy, then you just and you don't meet it, I would advise that sometimes it's always worth a shot. For example, maybe if you had a 4.4, 4.3 something, you can still go ahead and give it a shot. But if maybe you have a 2-2 and this particular scholarship has indicated that, oh, they're for first class, then just move on to other things. There are many other opportunities that are more accommodating than others. That so you have to you know get that out of the way. And secondly, you have to see. I have a friend who got one of the most competitive um master scholarships in the UK, which is in a lab, in the Sainsbury's lab in Norwich. And it's very, very tight. She had a 2-2 in the university. And typically, I think they get global application. I think they select like 4 to 5 people, and she was able to secure one. And what gave her an edge was the work that she has been doing post her undergraduate, right? She was, she had done some work. She had actually already done, like, she was rounding up a master's when she was applying for that, but she didn't even indicate that because she was not sure how that was going to make or mar her chances. So she was very, just focused on the work, but she had, gone on to do work in a research institute. She had all like, some level of experience. So sometimes, your research experience could, have a, like help to overlap. But absolutely, you must not have a first class to get a scholarship. Like you've heard, Caleb said, yeah, he doesn't have a first class, but he got his scholarship. However, for the Mastercard Foundation in Cambridge, like I said, you have to see your department requirements. It's going to be there on the eligibility status. You need to see every department. Some will say, oh, they take only first. Some will say they'll take, 2-1 and all of that. So for Cambridge, for Mastercard in Cambridge, you have to be sure that your department, you're eligible to apply to your department. But you can absolutely get a scholarship without a first class. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So before we give Austin Fair Kanga, please permit me if I didn't pronounce that name well. There's a question in the chat box from Master Agbo Samson. He said, hello, the presenters. Thank you for a wonderful session. My question is this way. What are the chances of securing a fully funded scholarship with a 2-1 in Mastercard Foundation program? Because first class is usually preferable and highly of advantage. I think Angela has answered that question. Am I correct?
Yes,
Okay.
just like I said, yes, it's just like I said. If the department you're applying to permits you to apply with a 2-1, absolutely. Because for Mastercard in Cambridge, you have to get in first. Then the foundation takes over from there. So long as you are able to get in, if you're eligible to apply, you're eligible for the scholarship.
Okay. So Mr. Austin, if you can hear me, ask your question now.
Okay. Good evening, Jude, the anchor, and thank you so much, Caleb and Angela, for giving us a wonderful presentation. I'm quite noisy, but I believe you can still hear me. So, mine is not a question. I just want to raise a request. I don't know if this session is being recorded so that we can have the clips at the end of the day, and we can keep going through them when we have difficulties in these applications. Thank you.
Okay. Unfortunately, I was unable to record this meeting. I tried ab initio, but I met a deadlock that I couldn't record this meeting. You are not allowed to record this video call. I really don't know why, but I wanted to. So for now, it's just the slides that we'll be able to hand over to you at the end of this presentation. And if that answers your question, in the chat we have Somto Francis. He said, kind regards, Jude, and really want to appreciate Sir Caleb and Miss Angela. Thank you for your time and efforts. Nathaniel Ogbada, thank you both for the great presentation. In a scenario where someone applied to a course, particularly to a UK university, those seeking external funding, during the application review process, the course director reached out telling you, the applicant, how excellent their background is, how it aligns with the department's future research, and looks forward to welcoming them on campus. Is it advisable to reply to the course director seeking funding opportunities within the university? Angela, I think that question is for you.
Yes, absolutely. First off, before you reach out to your to the supervisor, I don't know if this is a PhD or if it's a master's. So I know
I
how best
think
to
it's a
respond.
master's.
Okay. Uh, so the first thing you need to do is, if your admission didn't come with any form of funding attached, you have to quickly go back to the university website and you know scout through for available funding opportunities. Sometimes there are tiny bits of money here and there. Sometimes the monies are not like full, but for UK universities that their fees are like a little bit on the lower side, you can see maybe some money for like 5K here, you know 8K here, 3K there for grabs. So explore those kind of opportunities on the website to first of all see if they are available. That's number one. Number two, you can absolutely ask your supervisor. I mean, it's either a yes or a no, right? You can ask them now that you've established a working relationship with them or the course director. You can reach out to ask, oh, you just want to know if there are any internal fundings that are available that people could apply for and benefit for. Then in that email, you can also mention, oh, you've seen this XYZ on the website, but you just want to inquire more, so that this person knows that they're dealing with someone who's done their homework, right? But overall, you can absolutely ask. It's very advisable to ask, but be very let your email be nice. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if that answers your question. If it does, from the chat section also, we have Moave David. Thank you, Sir Jude, and our today's presenters. It was nice hearing from you today. Atanu Enemona. I would like to appreciate you for the presentation. It was very impactful. May God bless you all and continue to bless the works of your hands. Best wishes in all your endeavors. Nathaniel has said that response answered his question. So I don't know if any other person has any question to ask. You can just okay, there's a question by Ike Gabriel. How do we get the email of these professors? How do we get the email of these professors? Um, from my point, I would say every school has a website, and from what I see and what I have experienced, most of the schools have every information built into their website. Sorry to say, it is not like in our case where you on the school website you cannot even access your faculty lecturers. Here, once you go to the university portal, you go to the faculties, and under the faculties, you can access the head of the faculty, the director of programs, the head of department, the um, graduate coordinator, all the lecturers within that faculty. You can find their portfolios embedded in those websites, and by clicking on them, you will be able to find their emails. You'll be able to find maybe link to their LinkedIn handles. You'll be able to find their research publications that they have made over time. So it will help and aid you tailor your emails when you are trying to reach out to them for possible supervision. So yes, you'll be able to find emails of professors on the school websites. For I think all the schools, you basically find it. It's not the case as we have back home where only a few universities have that. Out here, almost all universities have information profiling their faculty members on their university website. I don't know if Caleb and Angela would like to corroborate what I have just said.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Angela. Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. And from my presentation, I'm definitely going to send you the presentation. So for students that are interested in any institute here in China, I think I don't know, there was a slide that had the link to all the institute here in China. So you can visit all the institute, their website, and you get the email of their professors. And you can also follow some of these universities on LinkedIn. Yeah, like my school, they are very active on LinkedIn and they share some updates about application and the rest. So you can do that. I'll make everything available after our presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Somto Francis, he has a question. Please present us. How easy or difficult can one get a research assistant position in any UK university? Angela, I think that is for you.
How do I answer that now? I mean, easy or difficult is very relative in this case. It just really depends on if you meet the person requirement or person specification for the advertised role. So uh you know, getting an insider ID. I mean, I'm reading sometimes I'm reading your message that has come in. Getting an insider in this case does not really of course, getting an insider, you know, if for you to get, you know, ideas and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you don't get jobs by recommendation purely. Like you would hardly, you know, the job you have to like apply and all of that. So overall, I mean, from a UK perspective, overall, you'd have to have met, you know, the specifications or, you know, the responsibilities that are being advertised for that role. I don't know what in what field you mean, but typically, generally, you have to have met all of those, like the requirements that they want. You have to have had the experience because research assistantships in the UK context, it's a what's the word now? Because if you are assisting someone's research, for example, in my context as a biological scientist, you are literally doing their work in the lab. So they have to know that, oh, you have that experience, you are able to, you know, interpret protocols, you are able to troubleshoot experiments and all of those things. So it basically just depends on, so you can see it could be easy for one advertised role, it could be difficult for one advertised role, depending on how you fit and into that. But also when you are applying to, if it's a job you are applying to, then I don't know if you're applying from within the UK, which means maybe you already have some type of visa, then you don't have the visa issue. But if you're applying from outside of the UK, very recently they have this new immigration law where you can only get a sponsorship on a job if when the salary is £35,000 per year and above. That's 35K annually. So all of those things, you know, they are what make up, you know, the easy or difficult, because they are all like part of the whole package that leads to you getting the job. So if the job maybe is advertised and it's maybe 33K, and which is like the typical money for RA roles within the UK, depending on the field, then you know it may be difficult because you're applying from outside of the UK and then you don't have a work visa, you know, so then it makes it even more difficult. So it's very contextual at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I
I
hope
hope
that
that
makes
answers
some
your
sense. Yeah.
question. If it does, okay, he just said thank you, Miss Angela.
Please, I'm not
Um,
married though. Something.
yeah,
Let's know what we are doing here.
I just wanted to make a comment about that. She's not married yet, but we thank you for the prayer.
Yes, so
Yeah, so
thank you anyway.
yeah, so if there are any other questions, we still have a few minutes remaining on our call. If there are further questions, please, if you would have a question. Okay. Then there's a comment here from Paul Agbo. Said, Mr. Jude, I came across your full name. Were you the head boy from MSG set 2012? Yeah, incidentally, as that is not linked with this, but I will just answer yes. I was head boy in MSG 2012. If that answers your question. Somto said he recently applied for Think Big under Bristol. Yeah, we wish you all the very best in that application. May God give you successes all the way. Please, if there are any other questions, you can either indicate by raise of hand or ask them in the comment section. We'll give 3 more minutes for that. If there are no questions, we'll appreciate each and every one of you for taking out time. Almost 2 hours on this call is not a rare. It's a rare sacrifice. It's not something that is common that you find people doing, given the state of high cost of data resources, internet charges within our country, Nigeria. But you have made that sacrifice to be here today. We really want to appreciate you all. Okay, Somto said, okay, he got rejection though. Okay, I got rejected though. Wanted to ask, how long can someone hold an offer in any UK varsities? How long can someone hold an offer in any UK varsity? Angela, I think that is for you.
Yeah, thank you. Francis, that is typically dependent on universities, but also typically most application rounds are just for that year. You can reach out to your course advisor for more details, or your course director, program director, more details on that. Sometimes you can defer your admission, but they would require, for some sort of fees, deposit or stuff like that. But also this is very university dependent. But typically your admission can only hold within that application cycle that you applied to. But your course or program director will have more insights to throw in the context of your own university that you've applied to. Thank you.
All right. So, Mwatu Samuel, Mr. Ju, thank you so much for organizing this webinar. Special appreciations to the presenters, Mr. Caleb and Ms. Angela. We thank you very much. Sincerely, we want to appreciate all our participants for today's webinar. This wouldn't have been possible without your presence, so we thank you. Special thanks to our resource persons, Angela and Caleb. Thank you for the sacrifice. I know God will bless you richly in all your endeavors as you look forward to future advancement in your career, in your academic life, and whatever aspect of your life. We know that it's going to be successful. So in the absence of any other question, I want to believe that we have come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you all. God bless you for being part of this. We will be able to access the slides. I will share the slides once they get to me, so that we'll be able to pick 1 or 2 things from there and proceed. We hope that in the coming future, people will share testimonies of winning scholarships from any very different parts of the world, be it in Africa, in Europe, America, Asia, or otherwise. Thank you very much. We will now be ending this call. Sending love to all the attendees. Starts from Master Caleb. Angela says, thank you all for having me. Best of luck, everyone, and may God help us all. Thank you. God bless you. And do have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes, Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to ask what you're doing your PhD in.
Okay, I'll connect with you on LinkedIn.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye.
I think that we had a bit of a challenge. One of us, our co-host, Mr. Adejo, has been in and out. I think maybe he's busy at the office or he's having network challenges. He was supposed to be on this call with us, but I noticed that he was coming in and going out. I want to use this opportunity also to thank him for always standing by us to be able to have a successful presentation. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yeah, I hear his
Yeah,
voice finally.
yeah. I've been joining and going out because I've been busy in the office. So I want to use the opportunity to appreciate Mr. Caleb and Angela. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a privilege to have you on this call. Thank you. God bless you and success in all your programs. Thank you. Thank you, Jude, too, for moderating today. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, you can reach out to any of us via LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook.